If you have any questions today, we will be putting out a lot of information out there and we might be moving quickly, but we want to make sure to answer any questions that you may have. So please feel free to put those questions into the chat box and we'll address those at the end. Real quickly, our agenda for today, we're going to be talking about an overview of the Resolutions Committee. We're going to go over exactly what this committee is comprised of, or who this committee is comprised of, I should say. A resolutions update and status for you all, some procedures of the Resolutions Committee, and then what communications will be going out during the conference that you'll all want to look out for. Before we continue on, we do have one other special guest who is joining us today, and that is our Executive Director, Carolyn Coleman. So I'd like to pass it over to Carolyn to provide some remarks.
Well, good morning. This is the best looking Resolutions Committee I've seen at Cal Cities in, I think what we're celebrating 125 years. All right, you all look great, and it's good to see you this morning. I want to thank Ali for leading us this year, and certainly Lisa, thank you for chairing this important committee. First off, thank you all for making the time to spend a little bit of your morning with us. The Resolutions Committee is obviously one of the most important committees we have at Cal Cities. You play a very important role in the policy development process. And as I'm sure has already been said, I hope that this morning we give you an opportunity to be even better prepared for this role when we get to the annual conference. Now, you've also probably heard that you may not have the opportunity to meet at the annual conference if we don't have any resolutions. But if we do go forward, we know that this committee is ready to do its job and to do it well. I can't wait to see you here next week. We're promising you good weather, but not so good that you won't be inside the convention center attending all of those great sessions we have in store for you. So thanks again for your time this morning. And Zach, with that, back to you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Let's get this screen back up for you all. All right, with that, we're going to start talking about the Resolutions Committee, some introductions, purpose, and composition. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to the chair of the Resolutions Committee, Second Vice President Lisa Middleton.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lisa Middleton, Second Vice President and member of the Palm Springs City Council. And thank you for being a part of the Resolutions Committee. As has been mentioned, this is an incredibly important part of our annual conference. We do not know yet whether or not we're going to have any resolutions to consider. But for those of you who were present last year, when there was a resolution that needed to be dealt with as a result of a petition, it's incredibly important that we are prepared and understand what our role is and what all of the rules are, with the fundamental goal that we want to ensure that everyone who participates comes away believing they had an opportunity to be heard and that the process worked appropriately and fairly for all. So with that, I'd like to take a moment and ask each one of you to introduce yourselves so that we can have, we know who we have here. If you could give your name, your title, your division or department, and please no speeches because we just don't have time for that today. And if I could actually get back to the pictures with everybody's faces on it, I'll call your name just in accordance with the way you appear on my screen. And with that, I want to start by not only introducing Cindy Silva, but thanking her for the governance committee's work over the last year that I think really did strengthen our organization. Cindy?
Thank you, Lisa. I'm Cindy Silva. I'm this year's mayor of the city of Walnut Creek. I'm immediate past president of Cal Cities, and I'm sitting in a presidential appointment seat for the Resolutions Committee.
Great. Fred Strong? Brad, we lost you.
I did it.
There
think.
you go.
All right. Okay, I lost my video though, but that's okay. There I am. I'm Fred Strong. I'm a city councilman, city of Paso Robles, and immediate past president of the California Council of Governments. So that's it. I've been on two policy committees all year, and this is my first time on the resolutions committee.
Great. Thank you. George Harris.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. George Harris, Finance Director, City of Lancaster. I was on the Personnel Employee Relations Department and a presidential appointment to this committee.
Great. Rudy Mendoza.
Good morning, Rudy Mendoza, Mayor of the City of Woodlake and current President of the San Joaquin Valley Division. Look forward to seeing you all next week.
And Holly Andrada.
Hi, good morning. I'm Holly Andriata. I'm the immediate past mayor and currently on the City Council of Lincoln. This past year, I was on a policy committee for the first time. I am currently the secretary of the Sac Valley Division, but voted in as second VP this coming year. And I'm happy to be serving on this committee. Thank you.
And Eric Danley.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Danley. I'm participating in the Resolutions Committee as the president of the City Attorney's Department of Cal Cities. Looking forward to seeing you next week and nice to see you this morning.
Great. And Diamond Bar's Mayor Andrew.
Yes, Andrew Chow, Mayor, City of Diamond Bar. I'm the immediate past president of the Los Angeles Division, and I've recently been appointed to be an at-large director for the State Board. So looking forward to the conference next week and serving alongside all of you. Thank you.
Deborah Parada.
Good morning, Debbie Parada, City of Ontario, current Mayor Pro Tem, former Inland Empire President. Thank you.
And Alex Hamilton.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alex Hamilton. I'm Fire Chief for the City of Oxnard and just finishing out my term as President of the Fire Department section for Cal Cities.
Great. Jeff Smith.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff Smith. I'm with the City of Pismo Beach Police Chief, and I'm representing Cal Chiefs.
Great. Rich Lozano.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Rich Lozano, Council Member, City of Galt. I am a presidential appointment, and I serve this year on the Revenue and Taxation Committee.
And James Kaya Riaco. I hope I didn't butcher that too badly.
Hi, my name is James Cariaco. I'm a city council member in the city of Goleta and a member of the Community Services Policy Committee. And this is my first time serving on resolutions, and it's due to a presidential appointment. Thank you.
Right. And Mr. Jim Lewis.
Good morning, Jim Lewis, City Manager of Atascadero. I'm on the board and I'm representing the City Manager's Department. I'm speaking to you from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums annual meeting. I hope this is far more exciting than the Resolutions Committee work will be. Thank you.
And Martha Guerrero.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I'm the Vice Chair, Mayor of West Sacramento. This is my third time being on the Resolutions Committee, and thank you to the President for the appointment. I'm honored.
Clint Wyrick.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm Clint Wyrick with the City of Grover Beach in the Channel Counties Division, and I'm with James on the Community Services Policy Committee. But on the Resolutions Committee, I also want to thank our president for making me one of his presidential appointees too. Good to see you all.
Thank you. Jennifer Mendoza.
Good morning, Jennifer Mendoza. I'm a council member in the city of Lemon Grove, and I serve on the Transportation, Communications, and Public Works Committee for the last, I don't even know, 5-6 years, I think. So I'm looking forward to being on this committee and seeing you all next week.
Mark Donahue.
Hi, Mark Donahue. I'm the City Clerk and Communications Director for the City of Eastvale, and I'm the current president of the City Clerk Department.
Wonderful. Maria Nunez.
Buenos dias, Maria Nunez. I'm a council member in the city of San Marcos. I currently serve as the first vice chair of the San Diego and Imperial Counties Division for the County of San Diego. And I've also been serving on the Community Services Committee. And I'm grateful for this appointment. Thank you for the president. It's my first time serving in this capacity. So I look forward to the work, and I look forward to seeing everybody in Sacramento next week. Thank you.
John Taylor.
Good morning, John Taylor, City Councilman from San Juan Capistrano, and I'm currently finishing up my year as president of the Orange County Division.
All right, Haley. Haley. Let's see, we'll move on. Who's left? Marilyn.
Yes,
there's
I apologize. I have other things going on. Anyway, this is Paul Akinjo. That's my alias you are saying. I'm currently the president of the Central Valley and then vice mayor of the city of Lathrop. I've served on so many various committees, and I'm glad that the president appointed me for this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Marilyn Ezzy Ashka.
Good morning, Lisa and everyone. I am the mayor of the city of Alameda. I'm also a member of the executive board of the East Bay Division of the League, served on the HCED Policy Committee. I hope I'm still on it. I'm a former chair. I'm on the State Board of Directors, and I thank our president for the appointment to the Resolutions Committee, and I served on this committee last year as well. And look forward to seeing you on Sacramento. And I do have an 11 o'clock meeting. I'll stay here as long as I can, though. Thanks.
Lisa Murphy.
Good morning, I'm Lisa Murphy. I am the Deputy City Manager for the City of Santa Cruz, and I currently serve as the President for the Personnel and Employee Relations Department.
And Susanna Meyer.
Thank you. I am the Vice Mayor for the City of Brentwood and the President of the Mayors and Council Members Division. Thanks.
And Alma Hernandez.
Hello, everyone. My name, I am mayor for the city of Suisun City, and I currently serve as president of the Northern Division. And I also want to thank the president for this appointment. It's my first time on the Resolutions Committee. Thank you.
And Anita Gutierrez.
Hello, Anita Gutierrez, Director for Development Services for the City of Pomona, and the second VP for the Planning and Community Development Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Fred Young. Fred Young. Tanya Spiegel.
Good morning, everyone. Tanya Spiegel, Economic Development Manager for the City of Rancho Cucamonga and Presidential Appointee from Cal ICMA.
And last, but certainly not least, Phil Dupper.
Hello, my name is Phil Duper. I'm the mayor of Loma Linda. I've served a bunch of different ways at League of Cities, including being a past president of the Inland Division. I do have to comment that it makes a lot of sense to me now, Jim. You do look like the crocodile hunter. So all of that now just fits into place, and I'm forever going to see you that way.
Well, thank you all and for taking a little time to introduce yourselves. We will move on, and I want to turn it back over to Zach and to Jason Ryan to walk us through the agenda.
Thank you. Let me get these slides back up. And we will jump into what you all just heard, a little bit about the committee composition. Thank you for taking the time to introduce yourselves. That gives you all an idea of who's on this committee and how they got here. But to further clarify how everyone got here, we can talk about the composition of this committee, and it includes representatives from each of the Cal Cities regional divisions, municipal departments, diversity caucuses, and each of our 7 policy committees. If you are here representing one of those different subunits, you were appointed by your subunit leadership to get here to ensure that this committee is as representative of Cal Cities as possible and the diverse voices that are across California. So we have those 4 subunits all represented with 1 appointment here. In addition, we have 10 presidential appointments designed to add in some additional balance to the committee. City size, various things are considered in those presidential appointments, but they are here as well. And that's who this committee is and how you all got here. A quick resolutions update for you, and that update is that no resolutions were submitted by the July 22nd deadline. So as you've already heard this morning, this committee will only meet if there are petition resolutions that are introduced on site and qualify to be heard. The deadline for petition resolutions to be submitted during the conference is Thursday at 8:30 a.m. So you'll know shortly after that time if we have anything to consider and if this committee will be meeting. And as I mentioned, if we do have one and it has enough signatures, it'll come before this committee to consider it before it heads to the General Assembly. So let's see here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. So some committee meeting procedures. I'm actually going to hand it over to Jason Ryan to walk us through just a few of the procedures of how the resolutions committee meeting will work.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. Jason Ryan, League California Cities. We're going to go over a couple of the procedures. Again, we will meet on Thursday, September 21st at 1 p.m. only if we receive one of those qualified petition resolutions. We're going to know, a little bit ahead of time, but it's a tight timeline between when we know if there's a qualified petition resolution and then when we actually meet. We're going to have the parliamentarian will be present, with us during our meeting. They're going to provide a report on any petition resolutions that have qualified and before us. The proponents of the resolution or resolutions will come to the committee. They will address the committee, and they will be there to provide any sort of answers to questions that committee members may have. It's also important to note that there's opportunity for public comment. Those city officials that are present and would like to provide some comment, they can. It will be time limited based on the number of comments that we may have. That'll be determined by our chair on a day of. And then we're going to open it up to a discussion with the committee and the committee members only. So after we take some public comment, after we hear from the proponents, the committee itself will bring it back to the committee and we'll discuss the measure. And if there is a motion, then that motion may be considered at that time. And then those final recommendations will be sent on to the General Assembly and will be taken up the following day. The committee will be able to, support the measure, oppose the measure, or re-refer to committee. The committee itself cannot amend the measure. That can only be done on the General Assembly floor.
Thanks, Jason. I'll go ahead and take us on from here. I thought it was great for you all to hear from Jason, as Jason will be one of the staff who are sitting at the table with you all during the resolutions committee. So he'll be there, and I thought it was important for you all to hear from him this morning a little bit about how that resolutions committee meeting will work, so that when you show up on site, you have a better idea of what happens when you show up to that room. It's also important for you all to know what happens to your recommendation after that resolutions committee is done. So since the only things that we may consider this year are petition resolutions, your recommendation will be sent to the regular calendar of the General Assembly. And what I mean by regular calendar is that it will follow the following procedures. During the General Assembly, the chair of the Resolutions Committee will be asked to present your recommendation to the General Assembly after and move approval of your recommendation. And once the chair has moved that approval of the recommendation, opportunity for voting delegates to discuss that recommendation will automatically be opened. So we'll have mics in the General Assembly, and only voting delegates will have the chance to discuss what recommendation you have sent forward to them. And then once all that wraps up and all voting delegates have been heard and everyone's voice has been heard, there will be a vote on the motion. It may be the same motion that, or the recommendation that you all put forward, or it might be slightly different based on discussions in the General Assembly. But following all of that, those votes will occur. Our last step here, some communications during conference. As I mentioned, you'll be getting some different emails, and I know you have a lot of other responsibilities and things that you will be doing during the conference outside of the resolutions committee. So it's important to flag when you might get communications from myself that are going to be important. First one is Thursday, mid-morning. If we have any petition resolutions that have been qualified, you're going to get an email just notifying you of that, and that the resolutions committee will be meeting. Again, that meeting is Thursday, September 21st at 1 p.m. I would hold that time in your schedule and move forward, expecting that we would have something to consider. But again, there is the possibility that we won't have anything. And if we don't, you'll get a notice at that same time via email, letting you know that your schedule just got an hour and a half cleared up for some more time in your day that you could go attend anything else, have lunch with someone, but you'll know that mid-morning. If we are meeting, a packet will be coming to you a little bit later in the afternoon before the resolutions committee meeting. That packet will include our agenda, a roster of everyone on the committee, as well as whatever a petition resolution that has been submitted and information with that to prepare you all for discussion. It will be a very short turnaround, as I'm sure you already expect, but you'll get that ahead of time, and we'll have printed copies available as well for you during the resolutions committee meeting. But these are two important emails to be on the lookout for. Where can you find some additional information? If you go to that link, and that QR code there will take you to the link as well. And don't worry about getting it down right now. We'll send out these slides after the meeting, so you'll have it then as well. That will take you to an overview page on our website of the General Assembly and resolutions process, and there's a lot of information there. And we'll be updating that web page while we're on site with packets. So you can find them there as well. And then you can always stop by the voting delegate desk as well. There will be Cal City staff there who are getting updates on this whole process. So you can stop by and ask them a quick question. I might be there, or if the staff there can't answer your question, they'll be in contact with Jason and I, and we'll be able to give you updates. There will also be an update board that has this QR code so that you can look at the website while you're there. And it'll get updates such as the resolutions committee meeting is happening Thursday at 1 o'clock. It'll just be a little piece of paper that gives you all an update. So if you're too busy to stop and chat with someone, you can just walk by the voting delegate desk, which will be in the registration area. Look at that update board and see if there's an update that pertains to you. With that, that is our all of the information that we have provided for you today, and we're happy to take any questions if there are any.
Are there any questions from anyone? And I will start, Zach, with one question. Do we know what room we will be in if there is a meeting?
Yes, we will be in the Hyatt Regency, and that room is Regency ABC. So I believe that's in the hallway that is closest to the entrance of the conference center. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe that's where that room is. And again, that's Regency ABC in the Hyatt Regency.
All right, thank you. James?
Yes, so on the 10% of the member cities, how many member cities do we have?
That will be confirmed before we show up on site. And that number should be, the 10% will be around 47 or 48. But we'll have that final number before we're on site.
Okay, and does it just require one signature from one representative of a city to count, or do you need multiples, a majority?
Thank you. Great question, James. It will require a signature from a voting delegate from every city. Petition resolutions can only be introduced by a voting delegate, and only voting delegates may sign. So that will be one voting delegate per city who can sign the petition resolution to get to that 10%.
Okay, and that can be the primary or the alternate?
It'll be whoever checks in. So the primary, if they're the one who is checked in at the voting delegate desk, will be the one who's able to sign it. They'll have a little sticker on their name badge identifying them as a voting delegate. If they have to switch to their alternate, that will happen at the voting delegate desk, and then that alternate can sign the petition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good questions. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone?
I do see some questions in the chat box, so I will address those really quickly. How does the resolutions committee meeting fit into the scheduled sessions? I will send you all a link to the schedule at a glance. I don't know it off the top of my head what other sessions are happening at that time. But when I send out these slides and this recording, I'll make sure that you can access that schedule at a glance and see how this fits in to the overall schedule. Who will send the email? All those emails will come from me. That same address that you've got emails from for this meeting, zseals@calcities.org. Those will all come from me. One other question here, would being a voting delegate interfere with being on the resolutions committee? It does not. And that's all the questions I see in the chat box.
And I'm looking to see if there are any other hands being visually raised, and I'm not seeing any. So if you've got a question, speak up. Otherwise, I think we have gotten through this in just about a half hour. Again, we don't know whether or not we will get a petition. If we do get a petition, they are always attached with some degree of controversy or contention, and we will want to be ready to make sure that everyone, again, is heard and that the process is fair. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in Sacramento next week.